Good morning. It is Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you guys. Come on in. Let's chat again this morning. It's good to see you. It is Wednesday. And let's see, today's December 18th. We are 1 week out from Christmas. And it's very exciting. I love the countdown stage. I hope everybody's doing well. Listen, if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. Let me know where you're coming in from. I always love to know. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to talk about everything insulin resistance. And today, what I wanted to do very specifically, because I've been in conversations with people, this is usually how the content comes. Cortisol belly versus insulin belly. Did you know that there's a difference? And you may want to know what it is. I'm just saying, you may want. And okay, spoiler alert. Oftentimes they just overlap. So, but there are some distinct differences and it's very, very fascinating. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How is everybody doing? You're 1 week out from Christmas. Is everybody like on it? Are you stressed? Are you good? Like, are you sleeping at night? Are you awake at night? I'd love to know how everybody's doing. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. Very, very good to see you. All right. So I'm very, very excited. Tonight is the if you have not gotten the Zoom for the VIP 1 hour longevity clinic, let me know that you want in on that. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight. It's going to be very good. And what I do want to do is I want to start this today with a little bit of a flash sale information for you. So the reason why is because, well, I don't know if I have to explain the whole thing, but basically there was a promo that was going to be coming our way and it didn't. And so I am doing a promo for you and I want to make sure that everybody can get in on it. I've had so many of you reach out to me and ask me what potentially I am doing as a flash sale or as some sort of a promo in lieu of that, the one that was offered. And I want to make it way easier. You slept okay last night. Thanks for asking. How about you? Yay, Donna. Good for you. I slept really good. I really do, you guys. I got my sleep game figured out. And so I do my 2 magnesium and then I do my ashwagandha. And it's not very often that I have an off night. So I'm super grateful because it took me a while. Like it took time to figure that out, but we do have to figure it out. You're fighting the flu. I'm so sorry. You're actually off work and able to be on the live today. Well, then hallelujah. Here we go. Let's make it really good for Songbird Beauty. Let's make it really good for her because she's not feeling well. So we're going to pray that you heal up very quickly. And then, you're going to make the best out of your day off of work. Nobody wants to have a day off of work because you're sick. But then when you are home, you just want to make the best of it. So, all right. So here we go. So I'm going to make things super, super easy. Any order that is 150 or more, I will either Venmo you or give you an Amazon card of $15. We're just going to do a straight $15 because that was the promo. It was a $15. Lisa, you're so sweet. She says she hopes you feel better. See, this is a really good community, you guys. This is really good. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. And one of the reasons that I very specifically want to do this right now, now, the 18th of December, we have Christmas in 1 week. In 2 weeks, we're going to be into January. Like this is how this goes. 2 weeks from today, we are January 1st. Okay. Now for us, and I put information up here for TikTok because it makes it easier for you guys. We will start our 5-day reset on January 6th, you guys. January 6th. Are you ready? Are you ready to give 2025 everything you have to shift things? Do you know how many people that were connected to me last year that had amazing results at the beginning of the year? Somebody over Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, they lost 25 pounds. Somebody else had started losing in January, and over the course of the year, I don't want to get her numbers wrong. I think I'm right. She's lost 22 pounds over the course of a year. Somebody else had dropped 20 pounds by May. You guys, you can change the way that you're viewing things and have a completely different track to run on. One that has a protein guide and a Facebook group and all of the encouragement and support that you could want and 5-day resets every month. you can have a different life, and it's very, very exciting. So get in hand what it is that you want. And then we're going to talk about the insulin and cortisol belly. What do you want in hand for the new year when it hits in 2 weeks? Do you want the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity? Do you want that plus the gut reset protocol? Or do you want that plus the gut reset protocol and the fat burner? Like, you can decide for yourself. And if you don't know everything I'm talking about, you don't have to. It's okay. You can just ask me. We just view everything through the lens of insulin resistance so that we can actually get results, because insulin is a hormone. And hello, if you have high insulin or if you have a tired liver, you're not burning fat anytime soon. So that's why we do what we do every day. And this is where I started a little over 10 years ago. So this is not something I started last week. Okay. This is something new. And I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s because of this understanding and this information. So $15, you choose. You tell me. You tell me if you want Venmo Cash or if you want an Amazon gift card, because maybe you want to turn around and give it away. Okay. Maybe you need like a little gift for somebody for Christmas, or maybe you want to buy it for shop for yourself. But all you have to do is go ahead, place your order, 150 in your subtotal, and then you let me know. Okay. You reach out to me and let me know, listen, I just placed my order and I want my $15 back. You just tell me I want my 15 bucks and I'm going to do that for you. Okay. So that's good flash sale for the next day. All right. So you guys, this is super interesting. Cortisol and insulin belly. You know, I think that they kind of do get a little intermixed, but the reason why is because insulin is a sister hormone to cortisol. So it's very common for us to kind of like, have these conversations all side by side and intertwined with each other. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just the way that it is. Now we know that cortisol is a hormone and it's your stress hormone, and insulin is a hormone and I just call it your sugar hormone. You made roasted lemon rosemary chicken wings. Shut up, Julie. I'm actually really hungry this morning. I got up and I did my gut primer and all my stuff and whatever, and I just woke up hungry, and that doesn't happen all that often. But this morning I'm like, oh man, I just need to go make my eggs. I'm hungry. So that sounds amazing, Julie. Amazing. Roasted lemon rosemary chicken wings. That sounds yummy. Okay. So cortisol and insulin, both hormones. And that's why, you guys, I want to be your best friend ever. And I want to be the one to tell you, this is a hormonal conversation. You have to stop thinking this is a calorie in, calorie out conversation. When you are insulin resistant, you guys, you just entered a different land. It's not a bad land. It's a very exciting land. I mean, we don't want to be insulin resistant, but I'm going to make it fun for you. And I'm going to make sure that you have somebody that walks journey with you and that can encourage you and then teach you how to be a foodie. You can still be a foodie and lose weight and enjoy your life and feel amazing and not ache and get on the floor with your grandbabies and lose sizes. Like, you get to do all of this together. So jump on in to this thought process and this understanding, a biological understanding of how to just shift the way your body's using fuel. Like, instead of using sugar for fuel, which is its preferred source, that's insulin's primary job, is to go searching for the sugar. That's its job. It's searching and it's searching and it's looking for the sugar because it's its preferred source of fuel. But you can shift a few things and you can bring that insulin down and say, sit down and shut up, simmer down. And then you can stop feeding the beast. Yeah. And love your food at the same time. You took your trio today like clockwork, Donna. Way to go. You're so hungry today, which is unusual for you too. Boiled eggs for breakfast. That's awesome. That is awesome. Good for you, Donna. Good for you. And if you have a testimony, share, because I'll share with people. I'm such a great encourager. I'm so glad, Terry. Well, you know what? It was a hard road for me. That's why. Because this was something that good morning, Jenny. Oh, good to see you, Jenny. Jenny, you have the fat burner coming your way, don't you? If I'm not mistaken, that's on its way to you right now. I fought my thoughts in my head for a really long time. I fought myself for a long time. That's why, because I figure if it was me, it's you too, right? And you have to be your own advocate and you have to take care of you. And I didn't know how to do that. I did not choose me. I did not choose me for a good solid 25 years after my gestational pregnancy. I didn't choose me. But then when I did, I was like, get out of my way, because I know my grandbabies are coming. I made that decision before my grandbabies showed up because I knew they'd come. And now I have 3. And what I wanted in my head, it is now true. All right, so cortisol and insulin belly are belly. Cortisol and insulin belly are 2 distinct types of abdominal fat patterns. Okay, so which one are you? So listen up. You don't have to put it in the comments, but if you're brave, put it in the comments after I read this. But you don't have to, but identify yourself, right? Because we're in self-assessment mode. Cortisol and insulin belly are 2 distinct types of abdominal fat patterns caused by hormonal imbalances. Here's a breakdown of the differences. Cortisol belly is stress belly. The cause, high levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, they trigger the body to store fat. Store fat, store fat, store fat, particularly in the abdominal area. Chronic stress or poor sleep patterns often contribute. Characteristics: fat accumulates around the midsection, visceral fat, while arms and legs may remain lean. Okay, so abdominal fat, while your arms and your legs might remain lean. Okay, often described as a hard belly because visceral fat surrounds the organs. It can worsen with stress eating, especially high sugar processed foods. We're not confused by that though, are we? The symptoms and the triggers: a high stress lifestyle, poor sleep quality, high caffeine intake, and blood sugar spikes from stress-related cravings. The associated risks to a cortisol belly: increased inflammation. We know about that, right? Greater risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. The key solutions: stress management. Got to deal with your stress. We talk about it almost literally every day. Lisa's raising her hand. I know. Stress management: prioritize your sleep, balance your blood sugar with protein-rich whole food meals, and avoid excessive caffeine and alcohol. All right, now that's the difference between, that's the cortisol belly. Now let's go to the insulin belly. Okay, so the cortisol belly was high stress. You might be lean in your arms and in your legs, but you've got a hard belly, right? Abdominal area, hard belly. Okay, so I think we see that on men a lot. We call it a beer belly, but we do see men having oftentimes that really hard belly. Okay. Insulin belly, high insulin levels. This is what causes it. High insulin levels and insulin resistance drives the body to store fat. Okay. That's why they're kind of sister hormones a little bit. Insulin and cortisol. Sisters, sisters. You guys know that song? Never mind. I'm in my own head. Do you see the environment that I have going on in my own head? I'm just saying. Okay. Particularly in the abdominal region, this often occurs due to dietary habits, high in sugar, refined carbs, and processed foods. All right. The belly fat in an insulin belly is softer, and it may feel jiggly because of subcutaneous fat, the fat that's underneath your skin. Okay. It can be paired with fatty liver, skin tags. Hold on. Where did my thing go? Oh, it can be paired with fatty liver, skin tags, and sugar cravings. Fat tends to accumulate not only in the midsection, but also in the hips, the back, and the sides, the love handles. Symptoms: high sugar, high carb diet, sedentary or triggers, symptoms, triggers, sedentary lifestyle, signs of insulin resistance, fatigue, cravings, weight gain despite low calorie intake. That I hear that from you guys all the time. All the time. I eat healthy, or I've really cut back, or I'm really working out hard in the gym or whatever. And sometimes these things are working against you. So, yep, Lisa says she has that too. Donna knows the song. Who was it? Was it Doris Day who sang that song? I could look it up, I suppose, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It comes from some TV show or movie from a long time ago. But associated risks with insulin belly would be type 2 diabetes, PCOS, and metabolic syndrome. Okay. Is it the White Christmas movie, Terry? Oh, thank you. See, I need to watch that then. It is Christmas time. We should be watching White Christmas movie. We should do that together. Terry's raising her hand for insulin belly. Yep, Magda says White Christmas movie. You guys, Brenda, good morning. Good to see you. It seems like Wednesdays, everybody shows up. I love Wednesdays. They are so fun. White Christmas, and you're the second one over here. You're the insulin belly. Look at us all just like confessing. This is confessional day. Do you have cortisol belly or do you have insulin belly? Which one is it? We all just, that's so funny. White Christmas, Rosemary Clooney. Oh my stars. I would not have known that. See? Oh, I need to go watch White Christmas now. That's really cool. Anyway, it's funny how music stays in your head. Anyway, you guys are hysterical. All right. So, associated risks with insulin belly. I'll do a recap, you guys. I'll do a recap. Type 2 diabetes, PCOS, and metabolic syndrome. Key solutions: reducing carbs and sugar. We know that, don't we? Eating protein, healthy fats, and fiber to stabilize your blood sugar. Intermittent fasting to improve insulin sensitivity. Prioritizing regular physical activity. So they kind of gave me a graph, and it's like, okay, so we've got cortisol belly and insulin belly. So cortisol belly, chronic stress, high cortisol. That's your stress hormone. So for me, it could have been like when I was taking care of my mom and she had dementia, and that was hard. Or maybe you have a really high stress job. Like some of my customers are like overnight labor and delivery nurses, or, that's high stress, or it's really throwing you off because you're doing night shifts or whatever. You might have just gotten through. I've had some of you reach out to me and tell me, help me because I just came through a really hard divorce season and it was very stressful. And so you're looking for ways to deal with your stress. Okay. So that's cortisol, high stress, hard belly, hard centralized midsection. Your triggers are stress, poor sleep, and caffeine. And your best remedies are to reduce your stress and get your sleep. So that's just a typical conversation around cortisol. Insulin belly is you have high insulin. You are insulin resistant, which is what we talk about all the time. And remember, yes, these do like overlap, but high insulin, you have a soft belly. You're kind of jiggly. You have soft spreading belly and sides. Isn't that sweet? I love how they put that soft spreading belly and sides. The triggers are a high carb diet, sugar, and sedentary lifestyle. And the best remedy is obviously low carb diet, fasting, and movement. So both types of belly fat can overlap, particularly in individuals under stress who also consume high sugar, processed foods. However, understanding the root cause is key to addressing the hormonal imbalance driving the fat accumulation. Okay? So the difference in how you would approach that then, and some of you are doing both, and I get that, but I'm just going to tell you from my perspective of how, when I'm talking about targeting supplementation to help with insulin resistance or to help with high cortisol, this would be kind of how you would view this. So if you have determined that you have an insulin belly, you're going to want to start with the trio. You're going to be happy that you started with the trio. Those specific ingredients are even mentioned. Okay. Like that's where you want to start because you're trying to bring down your sugars. You're trying to bring down your insulin. You're trying to get your liver to function better. You're trying to all of those things, right? Now that will help also. Anything that helps the liver is helping cortisol. So a lot of these overlap and I get it. But because the liver will actually, when it's functioning properly, when you've maintained your liver well and you have it up and running, it'll dump excess cortisol. So you want your liver to do its job. That's why I have that t-shirt that my friend made me that says, love your liver. Because if you would love your liver and you would see things through that, like even with the gut primer, this is liver health, one of many benefits. And if you're on the Zoom tonight, you'll hear more. But one of many benefits is the liver health. Because again, your liver is your workhorse organ. It works and it works and it works. That's what it does. It works hard for you. Okay. So if you have an insulin belly, you have that soft belly, think about the trio. If you have cortisol belly and you think that that is a piece of your puzzle, the two things that are mentioned here, other than your fish oil, because you need to bring down that inflammation, and magnesium glycinate. So I have the fish oil, but I don't have my magnesium glycinate yet. That's coming like in March. Okay. But you can go grab a magnesium glycinate, take it before you go to bed and get it to help you to calm down. But a good fish oil, I have that for sure. Wild caught, excellent. But other than that, it's ashwagandha and rhodiola, and I have both of those. Okay. And the rhodiola is what I started taking at the very beginning of my journey to help me with my inability to multitask when I was a hot mess express. And I didn't understand at the time that rhodiola would help, that it's a mood brightener and a mind brightener, that it would help me with my ability to feel like balanced from within, and that it would over time support my adrenals and help to balance my hormones. So some of you are already, maybe you're taking the trio, maybe you are on the gut reset protocol, or the fat burner, the thermogenic, whatever. And you're like, oh, you know what? I need to maybe consider some adaptogenic herbs. And I will tell you, I believe that adaptogenic herbs are God's gift to us. I really do. I believe that there are more women that would be so much more happy during their perimenopause and menopause years if they would adopt an adaptogenic herb routine. So I do both. I do the rhodiola, and I started that a long time ago. And then the ashwagandha, I started within the last year. It launched last May, and I didn't know that I even was going to love it like that. I didn't know. In fact, what I did was because I could recognize that sense of well-being inside of me, I was like, number one, I like that. But number two, because ashwagandha helps with sleep, stress, and mood, it replaced for me an herbal remedy that I was using for sleep. That's how, when you have something that's actually potent, when you have something that's actually like effective and working, and it hasn't been sitting on the shelves for the last year, like it's fresh, it's amazing how your body feels. It's amazing. And anyway, it's like treating your car like a Formula One race car. It's like treating your body like how it was created to function and run, and it makes such a difference. Patricia, I will get you that Zoom when I'm done. Thank you for putting that on Facebook comments. My vocabulary this morning. Woo! You're overlapping because you have some of both. Magda says, "Yep." Good morning, Claudette. Good to see you. Yes, Patricia, I'll get that for you when I jump off. What does ashwagandha do? Julie, ashwagandha, as an adaptogenic herb in general, adaptogenic herbs help your body adapt to stress. So they support your adrenals, and your adrenals regulate your hormones. Ashwagandha specifically is for stress, sleep, and mood. Stress, sleep, and mood. Okay. And that's over time. Obviously, I feel like I felt things though pretty quickly. Maybe I didn't have as much of an uphill battle. Maybe that's why I did. I don't know. Everybody's different, but stress, sleep, and mood. Rhodiola is mood and mind. mood and mind. It's a mood brightener and it's a mind brightener. Rhodiola it's like an Arctic herb, and it's been studied for, I don't know, 70 years. They can't find side effects. There was even a doctor that used it for a lady who survived the 84th floor of the Twin Towers, and he was a psychiatrist, and he used that instead of whatever, I have to be careful what I say, meds, scripts, and had very, very good results. That used to be a video that was online that you could see I used it a lot in my understanding of it at the very beginning, because I was really surprised that adaptogenic herbs could do these things for us. Anyway, I don't think you can find it anymore. Internet gets scrubbed of things that are natural oftentimes. Anyway, and it's just a beautiful herb, and it doesn't have a lot of they can't find a lot of side effects. It's wonderful. And so, and again, I always make this disclaimer. I only know what mine do for me. And I'm just going to be really honest. Like, if you're taking little tiny tender leaves of an herb and they've been sprayed with glyphosate and put into a pill, and then you bought them off of Amazon, I don't know what those will do for you. I'm just being super honest. Like, I know that mine come off of organic farms. I know that every seed is traceable. I know that they could tell me the worker and the row for every bottle that I buy. So I want people to be careful, be mindful, because it's not a regulated industry. Okay. It's not under the FDA. People are like, well, that's not FDA approved. No, because FDA stands for Food and Drug Administration. So you're right. It's not regulated. But then guess what? It's not regulated. So you have to be the advocate. You have to be mindful of what you're buying, making sure you're not buying fraudulent products, buy from the manufacturer, all of those things. And where are they growing their herbs? Where are they growing their farms? Anyway, it's a thought process for sure. Are those two supplements for stress and mood helpful for men too? Yes, Terry. Yeah, because there's no gender, there's no difference. So yes. Mm-hmm. Good question though. Very good question. Yeah. So, and I think that people, when you become somebody who assesses yourself, I always tell people, like, do not underestimate having the ability to have a 6-month guarantee. Nobody else does this. Nobody else does this. I'll just say it again. Nobody else has a 6-month guarantee. Empty bottle, satisfaction guaranteed. Nobody does this. And so you could be consistent. And I tell you this all the time. Choose to be consistent. If you're going to grab the trio and the gut reset protocol, the trio and the gut reset protocol and the fat burner, if you're going to, whatever you're doing, whatever you choose to do now that you want to get, like, you want to nail, you want to hammer down for the beginning of the year, you want it in your hand, you might as well do it today, because I'm doing a flash sale, 150 or more, and I'll send you $15, your choice, Venmo or Amazon. But when you do that, give yourself the gift of consistency. What if you are consistent for 4 months? 4 months, January, February, March, April. Guess what? Your 6-month guarantee goes into June. What? You can go through snow and mud and tulips and get into sunshine and warmth and still have a guarantee. Like, that is crazy. So I want you to understand that when you take an actual step onto a track to run on, where you can shift the way your body's functioning from the inside out, I'm telling you, and you have that peace of mind, that's a really, really good opportunity. I'm just telling you, that's the lowest risk you'll ever take, is to try something. Like, so for a guy to be like, okay, well, fine, I'll try that for a while and see what happens. There's a, just to let you know, Terry, to answer that for you. So there's this holistic psychiatrist, and she's on TikTok, and she something happened in her world. I don't think I know the details of what happened in her world, but at some point she woke up. She went, what am I doing? All I'm doing is prescribing SSRIs, and these are messing up people. And she literally left her practice. She left the industry and began to use things like adaptogenic herbs to treat her people. And this was a couple of years ago. I reached out to her and I said, this is so interesting because I myself have used rhodiola for a long time. And do you, prescribe or recommend rhodiola? And she goes, oh, yes, I do. So this is common knowledge to people who have looked into alternative, but we've been very indoctrinated with pharma. But the problem is that those can be hard to get off of, and or some would say that they actually don't have the benefits that people are wanting long term. So sometimes the information that I'll get from people is that you have to go one to another, and it's actually not addressing the root cause. And so I would say that's very similar to the injections for weight loss. It's not addressing a root cause because you don't have an O deficiency in your body. You don't have an M. You know what I'm talking about when I say that, right? You don't have an O or a W or an M deficiency in your body. That's not giving you a deficiency to fill up in your body. It's creating an environment to tap on your pancreas. Make more insulin, make more insulin, make more insulin, make more insulin, make more insulin. Okay, so then there can be short-term effects, short-term benefits. Some people take it, get injections, nothing happens. Some people take it, they lose a lot of weight. And that is a common side effect, right? Like, because you're creating more insulin, you're forcing your body to produce. Okay. But now let's just change that whole conversation through me, Julie, through me. You can, if you look on the website, have you been on the website? I don't remember. Just let me know. I'll send you a link if you want to look at it. It's the exact same one that my daughter took for her trichotillomania. It's another conversation, but the rhodiola that she took from my line took because she was pulling her hair. That started at 13. Anyway, so as opposed to having a cellular conversation, let's get to the root. So when you talk about adaptogenic herbs helping people for, let's say, this cortisol belly, for bringing your stress down, for trying to help your body to come in, like, because you're in fight or flight, and your adrenals are like, holy shnikey, stop, because they're just firing cortisol to put out fires, right? And so your adrenals need to be loved and taken care of. And I'm telling you, that was probably the best advice I was ever given by a naturopath that I worked with. She said, Kirsten, the way you go through menopause is the way that you will take care of your adrenals, because your adrenals regulate your hormones. And I'm like, well, I'll be darned. I don't even know what an adrenal is, but okay. And that's kind of when then I started reverse engineering why rhodiola was working for me. I understood that. But it's root cause. So taking SSRIs, and I'm not a doctor and I do not understand all the science. I just feel like that's trying to address symptoms instead of trying to address the lack of regulation going on in your body. I'm probably right to say it that way. And it's the same thing when you're talking about losing weight and you're insulin resistant. And if you're being given shots, injections, right? You're not addressing a root cause. You're not filling in a nutritional deficiency. You are trying to get your body to produce. You're considering surgery. Does it have bad effects like that? What bad effects? Oh, can you explain again what rhodiola helps with? I will, Renee. Thank you for asking. I have not had weight loss surgery, just so that people know that I am not. Carol says, grab it all. You'll feel amazing. I missed that one, Carol. You're awesome. I know. I'm telling you, take back your life. And if you target, instead of throwing spaghetti at the wall, if you target with me, join with me and target, you will feel amazing. You're right. Does it have bad effects like that? Lisi, tell me what you mean by that. Oh, like the GLP-1. Well, I wouldn't. So the GLP-1 injections, and this is just me, I'm doing my own research, right? So no, surgery is going to be a completely different bird, because surgery is creating a different it's creating a different mechanism inside of you to it's not my wheelhouse. But no, you're creating a different environment inside of your body to eat, digest, process food. It's different. And I would absolutely, if you're considering weight loss surgery, there are really good people on TikTok that have gone through weight loss surgery, and they would be able to speak to that with like a lot of wisdom. Okay. And they would be able to help in that arena. It's not my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is completely different. Instead of doing a surgery or instead of doing injections, let's talk about getting at things at a cellular level. If you can bring down your sugars and you can bring down your insulin, you can finally burn fat. You can finally, you can get your body to function differently. Just like if you bought a used vehicle and you could, it was like it's kind of puttering along, and you take it into a mechanic and they begin to like work on that engine, and they get all of the fluids up to snuff, and they get, all of they put it up to the computer and all of those things. That's a very similar thought process. You're getting your body back. Take your body back. And so you can use targeted supplementation, and you can bring down your sugars, you can bring down your insulin, and your body goes, well, okay, then I can actually function and move and like flow. It's just a cellular level conversation. It's just different. But someone could theoretically follow your nutrition guidance post-surgery. To my understanding, yes. But again, I know that bariatric surgery has a lot of, there are a lot of nuances once you've had bariatric surgery. I've just watched a lot of information on this because it's very curious to me. And so I do know that you have to be mindful about how much you're eating, and different things can cause different reactions because you've changed the environment inside your body. So technically, yes, I do see people. I teach whole food keto, and I do see a lot of bariatric patients prioritizing protein and bringing those carbs way down. So I do see elements of that. So potentially, yes. Yes, you could. Cheryl, good to see you. Lucy, good morning. Good to see you, Lucy. Oh, you guys, it's a party. It's a party. You're welcome, Julie. And so Renee wanted me to describe the adaptogenic herbs again. So the two specific ones that I'm talking about, rhodiola rosea. It's been studied for like 70 years. It's an Arctic herb, and that will help with your mood brightening and your mind brightening. Okay. So mood and mind. I was given it because I was having a hard time multitasking. I was in my 40s and I was running the front desk of a medical clinic, and it was very stressful. And I had one doctor that was a really big jerk. He was not very nice. And it was so stressful. Like the night before, I would like, Lori, thank you so much for liking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're like moving my algorithm on TikTok. I appreciate you. So the night before, he would come in once a week. And the night before, I'd be like, oh, so stressed out. Because if I didn't, if you make a mistake or you didn't move fast enough or whatever, he was just not a nice person. I'll just end it there. So I talked to somebody about this, and I said, wow, like my brain, and you don't want to tell people because you're like in your 40s, and you're like, my coworker was in her 20s, and you're like, you feel maybe really vulnerable, and you're kind of like, do I want anybody to know what's going on in my head? That kind of a thing, right? And so she said, hey, you should try this. This is like a mind brightener. And I'm like, bring it on. And so I did. And all of a sudden I could multitask at a different level. And I'm like, game on. So what that led to for me is I began to be more regular in taking it because, well, why wouldn't I take it every day? Like I already took it this morning. I already took 2 this morning because and this is like 10 years later. I mean, ask me what I think. I'll just show you my activity. I'll show you what I actually do. And then what happened was I go in for surgery. I had a car accident and I didn't know for 5 full years that I had tore my rotator cuff because it didn't show up on any, whatever. Because a neurologist had told me that. He said, your range of motion is so amazing. I'm like almost positive you did not tear anything in there. You are good to go. Well, 5 years later, I start feeling like something in my shoulder. We have an MRI done, and sure enough, I'm like, there's something not right in my shoulder. Okay, so I go and I have rotator cuff surgery. I'm 50 years old, and I go into surgery, and only in the last year had I, instead of having a period every month, started having it every 2 months. Like I'm just starting to skip, barely. Okay. I go into surgery, I come out, I never have a cycle again. What happened? So I'm post-surgery. My shoulder is just killing me. OMG, the pain. They're like, girl, you're just like, what's wrong with you? You must have a really low pain tolerance. I'm like, no, it's really bad. They're like, no, you're fine. Just like suck it up, buttercup. So I start doing physical therapy, right? And I'm like, this is horrible. This is painful. And they just are not knowing what to do with me. Well, eventually somebody listened to me and they did the test, whatever. I don't know if I had an MRI. I don't know. It doesn't matter. X-ray. I don't remember. And they're like, oh, your shoulder is frozen. No wonder you're in so much pain. I'm like, I know. So about 3 months into me having that surgery, I'm still pretty focused on like taking some pain help. Just telling you, I'm like, this is intense. And I stopped taking my supplements. Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone through a season where you're just like, you know what? My routine, I'm tired of having a routine. I'm just going to put my routine to the side for a minute. Well, that was me because I'm in a different world right now. I'm focusing on other things. Okay. I'm going to physical therapy all the time. It's like a part-time job. I'm taking my pain meds. I'm doing all the things, ice machine, the whole thing. And all of a sudden I feel like warmth in my body. And I'm like, I have never, ever had a hot flash in my life. And somebody had told me, oh, girl, you'll know, because it's like this internal flame, right? And for some reason, and I always just have accredited it to God, all of a sudden I went, oh, I wonder if my rhodiola has been helping me like not have hot flashes. Now, something must have happened in between there where I knew that had a potential to help me because I don't know why my brain would have thought that. So I go ahead and I'm like, I'll be darned. I immediately start back up. I'm like, oh, well, in the cupboard, opening the cupboard because I will not be having hot flashes. That won't be me. That's somebody else. That's not going to be me. That's like what I was thinking. So I go back and I start taking my rhodiola. And do you know that was when I was 51, 50. So right shy of my 51st birthday. I have never had a hot flash in my entire life now. I'll be 60 next month. And what I did was I bought the book, The Rhodiola Revolution. You can go get it on Amazon. It's an old book, and it will tell you all of the most amazing things that rhodiola does. And then when you see all the amazing things that rhodiola does, will you text me? And I will send you a link, and I will help you to dose it for yourself. Okay. Because I had to learn how to dose it a little differently to get the results that I was looking for. But it was through research and it was through understanding. And I'll tell you, that helped me tremendously. When I started to feel that sadness come back on me in my 40s, and it was familiar because I had that sadness when I was postpartum. And it helped my daughter when she was 13 and she had trichotillomania and she was pulling her hair. And I'm making no claims. I'm just telling you stories. No claims. Okay. You got to hear me on that because that's really important. But by a naturopath, she was given a rhodiola compound. We didn't know it. We didn't know anything about nothing. We knew nothing about nothing. We were like, all right, just take this. I mean, I wasn't a researcher. I wasn't a granola person. I wasn't a supplementer. I wasn't anything. So then later on, as she begins to be she's in business also, and she started using this for like because rhodiola can help you with energy. It can help you with focus. It's a mind brightener, and so she starts using it for different reasons. She stops taking it when she's pregnant because it hasn't been studied. She wants to be smart, wise mama, and she stops taking it, not remembering that there was a connection with that in her trichotillomania. Guess what reared its ugly head during her pregnancy? She could not leave her hair alone. It was so intense. And she said the last 3 weeks of that pregnancy were off the charts. So she gets done having that baby and she starts to research because, dear Lord, she's not going to do that again. Researches and looks things up and cannot find. I will do that, Claudette. I will spell that for you. But she cannot find studies because nobody's studying it. Should pregnant women take this? Let's study this on who's going to fund that. Let's try this on pregnant women, nursing women. They just tell you if you're pregnant and nursing, consult your physician. Your physician goes, what? And her midwife, who approved all of her supplements that she was taking through this line, approved everything, and that was great. But she did not have, she's like, again, there's no studies. So she made her own decisions, and then she used it for her second pregnancy and her third pregnancy, and everything is just fine. And she was mindful. She didn't overdo it. She didn't whatever, but she kept her trichotillomania at bay. And that's what was really important because otherwise it's too much. It's almost an anxiety feeling, anxious. And so she didn't want that. So I just tell you that to say that I don't have a lot of information on any other brand. I just don't. I've never tried one because I never knew about it. These are my accidental fixes that come to me from God. And I'm not kidding you. I was not the researcher first. Things would help me, and then I would reverse engineer why it helped me. That's where I come from in this world. I'm like, what the heck? Why? Like when I talk about the trio, let's see if I've got all three pieces. When I talk about the trio, I'm like, why did these help me? Why did these support me in losing 3 sizes in my 50s? I can't even get them up for people to see on all 3 platforms at the same time. Why? Why do these help me after doing this way? I had to reverse engineer why, because I didn't know. I didn't know the stuff, but now I do know. And to the point where like last year, we did a couple of different master classes just on the ingredients because it helps you to understand. And when you have understanding of why something is working for you, you will continue in your routine. Like Donna said, like clockwork, I'm taking my trio. Yep. You will do it if you have understanding. And if you don't think it's just jazz hands and a magic pill, but you understand what you're doing from the inside out to your engine. Listen, when you go to your mechanic, when you take your car to the mechanic, do you stand by your mechanic and you watch them touch every piece of your engine and change out the oil and wipe off the crud over here and fix the connection over here and get the acid off of the battery over here and no, you just trust that they're cleaning up your engine. I mean, right? Isn't that what we do? Well, it's the same thing here. You have to trust that your engine is getting clean. You have to trust that your engine is starting to function at a different level. And what are the results of that? Well, like the best results that I have like the Trio. There's a highlight bubble at the top of my Instagram page. It's a pink highlight bubble, and you'll see testimony after testimony after testimony after testimony. A1C coming down and sugars coming down and like morning sugars dropping 30 points in 2 months and people dropping weight because you can finally drop weight when your insulin comes down. People getting better sleep and having more energy, and the food noise simmering down and shutting up. Like, sit down and shut up, will you finally? Right? And I know that, everybody has their own different results and in their own different timing. And I get that. And I can't tell you why your timing is faster or slower or whatever. I can't, because you have a lot of factors to your body. I don't know the processed foods that you're eating or not eating, or the scripts that you're taking or not taking, or the over-the-counter that you're taking or not taking, or the stress that you have in your life. I don't know those pieces of your life. But you do. And guess what? Start trusting yourself. Most all of us, and I know not all, because I was really clueless. I could tell you a story that really we should just be on a Zoom and we should all be just the girls. Make sure no guys are listening in. I wasn't really kind of like with it when I was in adolescence. I was very clueless about all of the different things that were going to happen to my body. But once stuff does happen, we become pretty in tune, don't we? Like, let's empower you right now. You knew by the way that you were bloating that you were going to get your period any day. You knew that the way that you were cramping, it was either going to be a tough one or it was going to be an easy one. You were assessing yourself. You knew that day 3 was the hard day. You knew these things. You paid attention because you were, you're trying to function. So you knew what kind of, hygiene products you needed for your specific needs and all these things. Somewhere along the line, we lose that ability to assess ourselves. We lose the trust that we have in ourselves. Stop. Trust yourself a little bit. Trust yourself. Assess yourself. And allow yourself a journey. Can you make 2025 your year of permission? Permission to journey. Like, can you do that? Man, if every single one of you would do that, what a year we would have. Terry started 4 months into the year. No. Terry, did you start at the beginning of the year? You don't have to answer me. So it's been 8 months for Terry. She changed out her foods. She started on the Trio. She's now on the gut reset protocol and the thermogenic fat burner and the Trio. She's on everything. She's lost 40 pounds in 8 months. And she started to assess herself. She started to take steps and permission. And her great, I love how she says, I'm tucking in my shirts for the first time. But you guys, you want to know what the best part about that is? She's freaking 62 years old. Did you think it was too late? Is that what you've been telling yourself? That it's too late? You might as well just, oh, well, give up, give in. I started having those thoughts in my upper 30s, much less 62. I started thinking that a long time ago. Cheryl, yes. Okay, Claudette, you got the name right. RHODIOLA. Very, very good. Thank you. And you too, Cheryl, you want that too? Yes, I will do that. So that was my rhodiola story. And then ashwagandha, that's just another adaptogenic herb. And so for female, this is actually where I started. I'm going to be honest. This is where I started my content. I started talking more about adaptogenic herbs. And I have helped people with adaptogenic herbs for a very, very long time prior to really narrowing down the one hormone. Instead of just talking about hormones in general, I narrowed it down to insulin because it was such a high demand. But prior to that, and I don't know if I have it on me, prior to that, maybe I do. Hold on, I got to look in my little packages. Because you can do the rhodiola by itself. You can purchase these supplements individually. But if you ever ask me for the information on the purple packet, it has rhodiola in it. But it actually has all 8 of your B vitamins, time released, and 3 adaptogenic herbs in one packet. But that's why I always say, go do your research on it and then come back and ask me. Come back and talk to me. This is my wheelhouse for sure. And I'd be able to tell you, you know what, maybe you aren't looking for the whole purple packet. Maybe you want just the rhodiola, and then let's dose it like this. Why don't you try it this way? Because according to the book, The Rhodiola Revolution, it'll give you parameters for how many milligrams a day that you should consider, right? So that's the whole point. You can't wait till tonight, Lisa. You're interested in seeing what is all talked about. Tonight will be very good. So it's a 1-hour longevity clinic. There's not going to be a replay. I'm so sorry. I know that that's a big question I get all the time. It's just not the way that this is set up. So there won't be a replay. 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you want the Zoom link, and somebody has already asked me for that over here, I will do that. Yeah, that's exactly what that is, Lisa. Good job. You looked it up. That is what that is. That's the rhodiola. If you put rhodiola into the search bar, that is the product that comes up. Perfect. And that is in the purple packet if you need that. But tonight there's this longevity clinic. It's 1 hour long. And so what he's talking about, he's 57, I believe, and he's got like 12% body fat. But he's done so much with supplementation and the way that he eats. And he wants to be able to share that information. And he's very good. I listened to him in June. He's really good. And you'll walk away with better understanding of how to use the products that you already have, because so many of you are already customers. And then you will also, for anybody who's not a customer right now, you will walk away with information that you can apply to yourself right now today, but also to have information as to where to go to have a track to run on, meaning that, when I'm able to work with somebody and customize what it is that you're trying to target, that's a great benefit. And I love giving that benefit to everybody that comes across my path. And so for any of you that are considering doing the flash sale with me, you might want to wait until after the longevity clinic, just so that you can see what products you actually want to grab. Okay, so watch from 7 to 8 Central Standard Time, and then maybe decide what you want in your cart tonight. And when you spend 150 subtotal, all my language, depending upon who I'm talking to. When you spend 150 subtotal, tell me, just place my order. I would like my $15 by Venmo, or I would like my $15 Amazon gift card. And you can choose. Okay. So you can either, if you already know what you're going to order, just go ahead and order today during the day. And if you want to wait until after the clinic, I will be available this evening to answer questions if people have questions. I will have some guests there that are in person that I will be definitely chatting with, but I promise you, I will get back to you, and I will not just end the flash sale without having a conversation with you if you have questions, because this is my own flash sale. So I can do what I want. Okay. So there, take that. So I will make sure that I do talk to you, and you can either text me. There's a number there, or you can reach out to me by Messenger. Messenger is a really great option in my life. My name is the same everywhere, Kirsten Liebelt, Kirsten, like the American doll, Kirsten Liebelt. It looks like you lie down, and then belt on your pants, lie belt. It's actually Liebelt, but it looks like lie belt. And I'm the same everywhere, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook business, Facebook personal. You'll know it's my personal when you see the Italian name, Fragali. That's my maiden name, Kirsten Fragali Liebelt. And but you can message me on Instagram and Facebook, and you can text me, and we can get this figured out for you. And you could make a decision right now, get $15 back, And then have something in your hand for the beginning of the year. Have something that you can be like, literally, the gut reset protocol would be helping you. Well, they would all help you right now, but right now, with any impacted waste and fallout from the holidays, like, get your gut moving. Get your life together. If you know what I mean. I have to do something on TikTok. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink. So, all right, you guys have the most blessed day ever. Carrie, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. So I'm going to be sending some people the Zoom, some people a link to the rhodiola. I can see that. And then if you need anything else, please let me know. And I'd be more than happy to. You got interrupted. We'll have to go back to the replay. Yes, Carol. And the replay, you can choose Instagram or Facebook. So please do. I would love I would love for you to do that. That'd be great. And if you guys need anything, let me know. But otherwise, I am going to fly and I'm going to get my little swag bags ready for tonight for my in-person guests. I'm very excited. And I'll see you guys on the Zoom. And don't forget, I'm available to chat. Just give me a little bit of time to deal with, I want to be able to answer questions and do a little bit of the product expo with my in-person people. But then I will absolutely be available to help you make the best decisions. Don't buy things you don't need. But make sure you do get what you're looking for so that you don't feel like shoot, I should have gotten that. And now I don't feel as ready for the new year. So, all right. Yes. Oh, see, my comments were jumping on me. All right. Have the most blessed day ever. And I'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square.